We'll jump back in the live chat. Dave McClay, what's up, Dave? He says, Eric, do you believe Bret Hart will ever say anything good about you?
I hope not.
I hope not.
Because I don't expect him to, and it would ruin my expectations. It would make me realize that I can't read everybody as well as I think I can. Now, look, Bret's one of those people that just loves being miserable. He's got to have somebody to hate. Just look at Bret's commentary over the last 15 years, 20 years. Hated Vince, and he hated Shawn Michaels, and he made up with Vince, and he made up with Shawn Michaels. He hated Ric Flair, he made up with Ric Flair, hated this guy, made up with that guy. He's just he's just such a miserable guy. I saw him in Australia a couple of weeks ago, a month ago.
Oh.
And we were friendly. I said hello to his wife. She's very nice lady, beautiful lady, but very pleasant, and no tension or anything. Just, hey, Bret, hey, Eric. That was it. And then I hear him, and he's just so whiny and dark. And I honestly, I'm not saying this to be a smartass. I really hope he just finds a way to get fucking happy. Like, smile. I'd love to see a picture of Bret Hart. So have you ever seen a picture of Bret Hart with a smile on his face?
No.
I've seen 2 in 28 years. The rest of the time, he looks like he's at a funeral. It's like, what the fuck? You know how basset hounds always look like sad? Bloodhounds always just look mopey.
Yeah.
You give them a fucking T-bone steak and they still look mopey. Reminds me of Bret.
He's Eeyore.
Just, yeah.
He's Eeyore.
Some people love misery.
All right, let's go. What do we got? Johnny Sanders in 4SV. If you were in charge of AEW, what would you do first?
Well, the biggest issue is they don't have an issue with talent, although they have way too much of it. But that's more of a business problem, financial problem. The core of their issue is story first, like really bad. Like the patient's on his way out or her way out, and you got to fix this because from a storyline point of view, that company is bleeding out on the table, and it needs triage. But after I triage the story and what story means for that company and try to explain the vision for the company and what the company really represents, then I would focus on the characters so that they fit into that vision and fit into the type of story. Because right now your characters are all over the map. There's some good ones. Tony Storm is a great character, very mediocre wrestler, but a great character. Well, you can fix the wrestling part. It's a lot easier to get somebody up to speed technically or work around whatever their weaknesses are so that you focus just on the character as much as possible. So there's some great characters there, but there's some that aren't. There's a lot of them that aren't. There's a lot of them that are the same. It's like 75% of that roster looks like they're there to fucking change your tires.
Looks like they're there to change your tires.
I mean, it looks like somebody, you if you pull around the back of a Jiffy Lube at lunchtime, everybody who's back there smoking a cigarette, having a sandwich. Looks like half the roster. Am I lying, Casio? Am I lying?
No, you're not. It's an interesting looking roster. I'll give you that. Raccoon with rabies, a rabbis, I guess. Wants to know, have you seen anything from Lucha Underground? 4 seasons developed by Robert Rodriguez and Mark Burnett, aired on El Rey Network. There were some great matches, but it was presented as a TV show with over-the-top vignettes, giving the viewer cause to suspend belief, akin to how Matt Hardy's cinematic matches would be later. Have you ever seen Lucha Underground?
Yeah, interesting point of fact. You're only going to hear on 83 weeks. I actually had a meeting with Mark Burnett and I think it was Robert Rodriguez and his wife. Could be wrong. They flew me out to LA to talk to me about coming in and working with him on that show.
Wow.
And I was kind of interested because it was such a unique idea. And this is before they shot the first show. So they were explaining to me what they were hoping to achieve. They hadn't shot a sizzle reel or a demo tape or anything yet at that point. It was early. And I really liked the idea of it. And I was pretty interested. I wasn't committed to it. They didn't make the offer either. My interest is really more in working with Mark Burnett than it was working on that show. I was interested in the show because it was unique and different. And I would have probably gotten involved to some degree just because I wanted to see if it was possible to pull it off. But the opportunity to work for Mark Burnett was something that Mark and I almost worked together on one or two other projects. We had a reality show that I developed with Jason Hervey for Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon signed on. He was attached to it. And we had all the other components that we needed to pull it off. And Mark was going to jump in on that with us, but that deal fell apart at Fox at the very last minute because of NASCAR complications.
Wow. Of course, everybody should know Mark Burnett's resume is insane.
Yeah, he's like he's the Barry Gordy of reality television.
Survivor, The Apprentice, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Tons more, but just absolute iconic shows. Yeah, would have been cool to see you work. Everybody wants to work with him. That'd be awesome. Instagram, a wrestling historian wants to know, how would you have booked a Bret Hart versus Hulk Hogan match at Halloween Havoc 99? Thanks in advance.
Oh, I'd have had Hogan beat Bret Hart like a fucking drum. Pillar to fucking post.
then have Reese come out and try to butt fuck you.
You got to finish it off right. You got to give the people what they want.
Give them a call back. It always works.
Wouldn't it be funny if you just, if you were crazy enough? Like, just imagine, for example, you were, the son of a billionaire, and it didn't really matter if you made any money or not. You could just do whatever whimsical shit you wanted to do.
Sure.
If it just struck you, like, you're sitting on a toilet taking a shit in the morning before you go to work. Hey, I got an idea. We can just go do this because this is what I think would be fun. And it really wouldn't matter if people watched it or not, as long as you were having fun because, you're a billionaire's kid. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Sure.
But what if that was like you or I and we were booking this thing and we were sitting around having some fun, maybe a cocktail. We said, hey, I got an idea. Let's have Ron Reese jump out. He dress him up as a mummy. And just every once in a while, randomly, have him come out and try to like hump somebody in the ring and then take off out through the crowd. And for no reason. It's kind of like the 24/7 title. We'd have Ron Reese dressed like a mummy. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes.
People will be talking about that forever. You do it in
Dress
Japan,
up like a mummy.
Stars and shit.
Oh my gosh. Let's do that. Let's do it. I'm in. If that's the case, I'm in.
No, you'd only do that if you were a billionaire's kid and it didn't matter if you made any money. Because
Sure.
you could just say, no, I'm just booking for the sickos. I don't care if you guys want to watch. Hey, I don't care if nobody's watching my show. I don't care if people are buying tickets to come and see me produce my A show on Wednesday nights. 3,000-4,000 people, who cares? As long as there's more than 4 or 5, I don't care. Because they'll go, this is awesome. As long as they can go, I'm good. I'm good. Forget about the money. I got all the money I need. Let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun.